Actress-singer Nadine Lustre shows her vulnerable side in her debut album, Wildest Dreams. I sat down with Nadine and asked her about the inspiration behind this album.
Well, Wildest Dreams is inspired by our my first hike to Sagada. I think it was Mount Pukaw. I think that's the name of the mountain that we hiked. So pretty much, if you listen to it, it's very visual. And a lot of people actually ask me about the meaning of the song, but every time they do, I just tell them that, I actually have photos to show to you where the lyrics came from. Because it's like the lyrics, parang it goes, I'm seeing purple in the sky, I climb so high, the sun is waving. So when you hear those words, you're like, wait, how did she think about that? But really, it's from our hike po in Sagada. I think that was back in 2017.
Okay, so this is like something like your commune with nature. Is
Yeah.
this some? Tell us more about the song.
Actually, yung song po kasi, okay, how do I dissect it? That trip to Sagada is one of the most memorable trips, I guess you might say. There's so many things that happened there, and of course, when we're one with nature, you feel really good about it,
Yeah.
and um, there's just so much realization during that trip, a lot of introspection that happened as well. So I just thought of making a song about it. Actually, Wildest Dreams is the title of the album itself. So it's just a very memorable trip for me. That's why I just had to name the album after that.
And of course, you wrote the lyrics for the Wildest Dreams.
Yes, some of it I wrote. Some of the lyrics, actually, some of the words I wrote last year pa. But of course, with the help of James, Brett, and Hi Sam, we were able to, come up with Wildest Dreams. I'm not really, how do you say this? I'm not really used to making music yet, or like what sound I want to go for and all that. That's why, I have a team to help me out with that. But with the lyrics, I was blessed enough that, they let me write most of it in the album.
Okay, now speaking of Wildest Dreams, is this your absolutely wildest dream? I mean, it seems like you've gone full circle. The fans are loving the music that has come out. How do you feel about that?
I feel really good because everyone's been super excited. They've been actually bugging us since last year, but to release something. Well, I mean, I have released a couple of singles, but not really an album. Because an album, that's kind of it's different because it's a full length one. It has 12 tracks, and to know that this is something very personal and something that really came from my heart, because I really had to show vulnerability in this album, and to kind of write about personal experiences as well. So I'm just really happy that everyone's so excited, and I hope that that people get inspired by the album.
Okay, so would you say that this is like your little journal that you're sharing with everybody? Because I remember like way back, like in January, you were already like thinking or mentioning in a lot of interviews about an album that you
Yeah, I
want to
know.
make.
It's very personal. One of the tracks in the album, I um, it's super emotional because as you know, like my brother passed away back in 2017, and one of the songs there called "Save a Place." I didn't actually write it. It was my producer Marcus Davis who wrote on it. But the beautiful thing about the song is that before he finished writing it, we had a sit down, we had a dinner, and I was just telling him, like about things that I wanted to tell my brother, things that it's the song kasi it's more like telling a story and giving an update to a long lost, loved one. So he got that on point. So yeah, there's really a lot of vulnerable stuff in this one, and a lot of realizations, and I'm hoping that people get to understand and feel the same way I was feeling, because the album is not just a message for the listeners, but it's also a message to myself. So it's kind of like myself, like me reminding myself, like, okay, you got this, like these are the things you went through, so you're good, you can do it. The beach we shot at Kilabne. I'm not really sure if it's Cavite or Batangas. all I know is that it's at Kilabne. And then we have scenes that we shot in Manila Hotel. But everything else, the rest of the music video, it's all done in a studio.
Okay, and then yan, when you went to kay Lab na yan, in one day lang, did you just do a one-day shoot?
We shot there for 2 days. We were very fortunate because the weather was really nice. It would rain, but it's just slight shower lang. But then eventually it would stop. Kelabne is very beautiful. Um, if you don't know what Kelabne is, it used to be a resort, I think, but now it's it's a bit run down because it hasn't been fixed in a while. I think back in the 80s or 70s. Basta that long na po. And then what's beautiful about that place is that um, construction wasn't really finished. So you see nature kind of growing into it and kind of like taking back or taking back all the spaces, and it looks beautiful. There were monkeys there too, and then there's so many trees. But it's really, really beautiful. I love that place.
How long did it actually take you to make this album? I know that we're under a lockdown. How difficult was that for you?
We actually started working on the album since last year pa. There are a couple of songs in the album that we already started since last year, and then because of the pandemic, because of the lockdown, there's we all have so much time on our hands, and there's really nothing to do. And I guess, in a way, for me to cope with everything that's going on, and not just in the Philippines but in the world, because there's like bad news almost every day. There's so many things happening. So I guess, in a way, for me to just comfort myself and to um, to tune in, as I was just writing like almost every day. I would write and get in touch with my emotions. Also, um, kind of unearth issues that I haven't really dealt with before, that I kind of just want to push down because I didn't really have time to handle it or to face them. So there's so many things that happened during the lockdown. I can say that I grew into a better person because of that.
So it's probably like a more mature
Yeah.
album as well, diba, for a lot of people to enjoy. Now, earlier you mentioned about James Reid. How much of the song or the album did he have a say in, or how many songs did he actually write? And is there a song for you in there?
Um, Pretty much most of the songs he actually worked on, because we're a team. So I'm not really used to making music. This is the first time that I've written and really like worked on a full length album, and that's different because a single is just it's just one song,
One
but a
song.
full length album, there's so much happening and there's so much things you need to fix, and it's 12 songs, so that's a lot of songs. And James is the one who's hands on. He's always the one checking if the mixing is okay, if the instruments are nice. I can say he's actually one of the producers as well, because he would be working with another producer and he'd be instructing them. Okay, you put this instrument in. Do you have anything that sounds like this or no? Because I'm not really used to that, so I just let them work on that, and then I write the lyrics.
Okay, so definitely no one knows you best, diba? Like James. I would say that you're definitely in good hands. So Nadine, we're so happy for you. I mean, Wildest Dreams is
Much.
coming out, diba? End of the month, tama ba?
Yes, it's coming out on the 31st, which is also my birthday. So
Oh, happy birthday!
it's a gift for everyone, baliktad. But I'm really excited for everyone to hear the album, and of course to see the visual album as well.
Okay, and where can your fans listen to all your songs?
Yes, my songs will be out. The album will be out on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Deezer. There's also SoundCloud, and also there's Amazon Music. The visual album will come out on YouTube. We have a premiere also on the 31st for the visual album, but we still don't have a time yet, so we'll keep everyone posted.
And before I let you go, Nadine, one last, ano bang mga plano mo for next year kung meron man? Of course, more albums or any movies or teleseries in the works?
Definitely, hopefully another album, but definitely more music. I'm already excited to work on new music, actually. But yeah, for now po, I'll be focusing on Wildest Dreams. But I can't wait to make more music in the future. And hopefully next year I get to do a lot of campaign for the environment naman. So yeah,
Well, thank you so much, Nadine, for spending your time with us and
thank you
all the
so
best
much.
on Wildest Dreams. I'm happy that your dreams have come true. And of course, we look forward to a lot more of Nadine Lustre.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.